Good morning, Malaysia. Welcome to Lim Ren En live show. This show is dedicated to improve the lives of people who want a positive change. I have witnessed many amazing stories of successful business people who came from humble beginnings and made it in life. There is a formula of success, and you too can be a successful person. My name is Lim Ren En. I'm a father of 4 beautiful children, an amateur bass guitarist, and also a husband to a beautiful daughter. I have 20 years of experience in the life insurance industry, an 11-time MDRT member, and also a 3 times Court of the Table qualifier. I dedicate my life in helping medical doctors and SME business owners, providing them insurance protections for their families and their businesses. When you see me, don't think of insurance. But when you think of insurance, see me. Good morning, Malaysia. Now, welcome and thank you for watching Lim Ren En live show. Today we have an amazing guest, and this week's guest is Bob Tan, a stockbroker with Affin Hwang Capital, who has been in the market for more than 35 years. Now, he has gone through many financial crises, including the 1997 Asian meltdown, which almost bankrupted him. Now, Bob brings people on pilgrimage, enjoys traveling and meeting people. He is also a master scuba diver, a keen photographer, and a bird watcher. He plays music weekly with the Music and Magic band at the Star Cafe in Taman Desa, and is indeed a man of many talents. Now, he will share with us today his insights on the negative effects of the pandemic on the economy. Now, on top of all this, we will talk about his experience in having the right mindset and adopting the correct methods to weather the coming economic storm. So let's welcome Mr. Bob Tan. Hi, Bob.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And
you know, it is amazing to have you here with us today, Bob. Amazing to have you here with us, and I thank you so much for coming to our show. And I believe that you are doing well.
Thank you. Yes, we are good.
You're keeping healthy?
With the MCO, yes. Thank you.
So Bob is one guy who I knew like maybe 15 years ago, and he has never aged.
Really?
Look at
Thank
him.
you.
Still young, you know, amazingly handsome.
I agree.
Right? And he still does all his pilgrimage, mountain climbing and all that thing. He will go to the ends of the world to see his favorite bird, right?
Yes.
India. Where have you been? India?
Yeah, we were in India recently.
Yeah, okay. So let's go to the questions that we want to actually ask you about your background and all that. So question number 1, Bob, tell us a little about your background, your childhood, and your family.
All right, I'm from Melaka. I went to St. Francis Institution, a La Sallian school, who really molded me. Then I had my tertiary education in London, and I worked in the British London broking firm called Strauss Turnbull. I have 3 children, wonderful children, a boy and 2 girls, and I live in KL.
Tell us a bit more on your children.
Okay. My son is Nathaniel, daughter is Christabel and Cheryl, and I am very proud of them.
So I noticed that Nathaniel is pretty much of a interesting figure. He is actually a writer for The Star.
For The Star, he's a columnist. He's actually more famous than I am.
You always say people will refer you as Nathaniel's father, right?
Exactly.
And Cheryl is a she's a singer, artist.
Yes.
She actually does the shows in Singapore.
Yes, she performs in Singapore. She acts on TV and she sings, and she teaches voice.
And Christabel is an educator.
Yes, she's a director of education in one of the private schools.
Right. And all of his kids actually graduated from the Ivy League school. Nathaniel from Harvard,
Yes,
Christabel from Stanford,
yes.
and Cheryl from which one?
Wesleyan. They call it the Little Ivy. Yeah.
The
I'm
best
very
art
proud of
school. The best art school in America. So you should be, you know, all your kids came out from Ivy League school and they are doing so well in life. Now tell us a bit, how did you actually develop them? How did you actually take care of your children? What is the core value in raising children?
I would think we like to say that we brought them up to be independent and to attain the best education they can. Because ultimately, I think it is in education that will see you through in life.
Education will see you through in life. I must agree on that. So now, how did you develop your career in Malaysia after you came back from UK
Yeah,
and all
actually,
that?
I came back when I finished studying in the mid-70s. And it was actually a rather difficult time because there was a crisis in Singapore, the OCBC crisis. And I went into banking for 10 years. And then in 1984, I went back into stockbroking. And I've been there ever since. And over the years, I have been in the market in 3 different firms, in Seagrove and Campbell, in TA Securities, and now in Affin Hwang.
Affin Hwang.
Yes.
In 1998, 4 years into your stockbroking career, there was a huge crisis. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, that was 86, 87. It was the Pan L crisis. And of course, the market actually went into a tailspin. But then the government started spending money. The primary thing was actually the North-South Highway. And the fact that the government spent the money must manage to pull the whole economy up with it. And then of course in the 90s, we had the rollicking 90s when the market was the best it has ever been. But that unfortunately led on to the
1997.
Yes.
Now, the 1997 Asian financial crisis. What happened? What hits you, Bob? And how did you not see it coming? And how did you dig yourself out of it?
Actually, I think we became arrogant, we became too comfortable, we became too successful. Do you remember the 90s?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes, and we all just thought the good times would never end. And all the banks were so flush with money. They were lending so much money to everybody. You know, it was a case of, if you want 1 million, they say, please take 2. And that, of course, fueled the stock market, it fueled the property, and then we actually had a bubble. So then the 97 crisis, Asian crisis came, and because the gearing was so high, and then the crash came. And it came so suddenly, you know. Our market actually in 3 months dropped by half. So then everybody could not get out, and that led on to the what we call the Asian financial crisis. Yeah. Nobody saw it coming, really, nobody. We really thought the good times would never end.
What hit you actually at that time? What is the biggest impact to your business?
Actually, the biggest impact was not the lack of business, you know. The biggest impact was the gearing.
Gearing, can you
Yes.
just elaborate?
You
What
see,
do you mean by gearing?
Yeah, because you see, at one time the banks and the brokers were lending money indiscriminately. So you see, if you've got shares worth $1 million, they will lend you 600, 700, 800,000. And of course, you use that to buy more shares. But what happened when the share prices dropped? And the prices dropped, you know, it dropped to 5%. Some counters dropped to 5% of its value. So your 1 million worth of shares become worth maybe 50,000, 100,000. But your loan is still 600, 700, plus interest, 800. That is what killed the market, overgearing.
Overgearing, meaning you had some stocks, you borrowed on top of those, against those stocks.
Yes.
And you basically, in Chinese, we always say "sailang all in."
Exactly.
Everything gambled in, and you get caught when it drops to 5%.
You cannot get out fast enough.
You cannot get out fast enough. So how did you dig yourself out of it?
It took 5 years, but basically we sort of continue working, continue trying to do deals, waiting for the economy to bounce back, and eventually it did. You see, so essentially it was those who had holding power, staying power, they survived the crisis. And then you do what you have to do. You continue working. You continue doing all the small deals, and hopefully bringing on bigger deals. And we were lucky that our own economy in the 2000s actually had a good run. And that pulled the whole market out and gave it a big run.
Now, when you say, you just mentioned holding power, can you elaborate more on that? What do you exactly mean by holding power?
Yeah, the lack of gearing. If you have bought and paid for the shares, you can hold it. Even though you should sell and buy it back, but then if you're caught, you can hold it. And eventually, if you're holding on to good counters, if you're holding on good investment stocks, it will come back. And that's what happened.
That's what happened. So the problem with people dumping stocks is because they could not hold.
Exactly. And in fact, it comes to a stage when you are no longer in control of your own portfolio. The banks, the lenders are in control, and they are forced selling. That's what happened. They killed all the people.
So what you say is that with that 1 million that you put in, your value become 5%, and because you borrowed another 700,000, they force sell your 5%.
Yes. And you still end up, after having sold all your shares, you still owe the bank.
You still owe them. You still owe the bank 700,000.
That's the problem.
Okay. Now tell us a bit on 2008, the subprime crisis.
Yep.
Now it did not affect you too much because the hard lesson that you have learned in 1997. Now, what were they? What were the hard lessons that you learned that prevented you from being affected?
Yes, not to be so geared, not to borrow so much. The subprime actually was an American-led crisis. And how did it happen? They gathered all the mortgages and they refinanced it. So they actually went down the same road that we did in the Asian financial crisis. They started borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And they ultimately became overgeared. And then the thing collapsed. That's exactly what happened. So because here, after that, the lenders and the brokers were more prudent in their lending. So they didn't lend so much. They didn't lend so aggressively. Like they wouldn't lend against a single counter. If it's a single counter, they may only give you 30, 40% of the value, as opposed to 60, 70, 80%. So when the things fell, they were able to force sell and get out in time. So that's how we learn. And the whole Asian markets, actually, most of us were not that badly affected by the subprime crisis.
Mm-hmm. So the subprime actually affected the Western world.
Yes.
Basically Europe and US.
Mainly US. Yes.
Mainly US.
Yes, because they were the ones who pioneered all the exotic funding schemes.
Now, let's spend a bit more time talking about this crisis as of today. We are in a situation that we do not know what is going to happen. Now, today's crisis, what is your view on this? Today, our crisis right now, what is your view on that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing hit us so suddenly and so quickly, if you like, and the way it happened. And of course, the government, I think, is doing right in having the MCO, in stay at home, be safe. But unfortunately, when you do that, the economic activity grinds to a halt. A lot of things come down so much. There's no economic activity. And this ultimately, we don't see it yet, but it will affect and it will impact us quite badly down the line. Many businesses will close or be affected so much that they have to downsize so much. And this will have a roller coaster effect, if you like, on the whole economy, because there will be people are not spending. So because people are not spending, because they cannot go out, there's no multiplier effect on money, on the movement of money. And this would have a very adverse effect on the economy to come, I fear.
Can you tell us a little bit more on what do you say just now, the multiplier effect? A lot of us don't really understand how it works. Okay. What is the multiplier effect?
Okay, it works like this, see? If, say you have $100, but you go to a restaurant and spend it, good. And then the restaurant, he has to buy the raw materials from the farmer, the butcher and all that, so he spends $100 or less. And then the guy has to spend that $100 again to the person to supply and move the logistics around. At the same time, they have to employ the people and they have to pay them. So that same $100 rolls, if you like, maybe 4 or 5 times or 10 times. So the buying power of that $100 which you originally spent can be 1,000. That is the multiplier effect. So now if you do not go out, you do not spend, then everything comes to a stop. Economic activity comes to a stop. And that is what I fear is going to happen. Yeah.
How do you see our future, as the situation progresses now? How do you see what is going to happen today, in 6 months' time, and in a year? Do you have the crystal ball to tell us what is going to happen?
I wish.
Today, in 3 months, 6 months, or a year. Can you tell us, give us a little bit of insight, what is going to happen in, say, 6 months, in a year?
Well, you see, the stock market crashed in the first month of the MCO. The prices dropped, some of the share prices dropped to 20% of its value in the space of a week. That's frightening, Again, because it is the fear. The fear is pervading the whole market at the moment. And when one is fearful, one is uncertain, everybody pulls back and holds back, which is what's happening. So unless people can get over this and get round the market, but there are some signs that the market has recovered. Even the American market dropped to 19,000 index, now it's 24,000. And our market also, some of the share prices have recovered. But it seems to be highly speculative at the moment. Because, as I said, I do not have a crystal ball. So we do not know how it would, the full impact of this thing that will come. But definitely it will come, the impact.
I just must highlight one or two of your friends who are watching right now. Your son is watching right now, Nathaniel. You can see, if you can see the comment there.
Clever.
Jeannie Snow is watching you. She's been asking for the link for since this morning, And I think you have a lot of your friends watching you going live right now.
Hi, guys.
So say hi to all these guys. I'm just gonna flip this over and say hi to Faisal, Jeannie, Bob.
Yes.
All your friends, Mahendran. All your friends are watching and they're asking a lot of questions. So yes. we will pick up your question in a while once we finish some of the questions that we have prepared to ask Bob. To ask my boss. We are good friends. So this interview should be lighter. It should not be a TV show. Come on. We are more than a TV show. Anyway, so if you guys like what we are sharing and you like the content that we are bringing up to you, that Lim Ren En Live is bringing up to you, could you just do us a favor, like and follow our page, so that you get more amazing content every week from us, all right? So some of our friends, Dominic is here,
Hello.
Right? Cheryl is here.
Hello, Cheryl.
All right, so there's a lot of your friends is actually here watching you. So let's go to the next question. What is your comment? What is your comment of letting the virus go rampant, and save the economy? The Donald Trump way. Let the virus go rampant and save the economy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, Sweden also did that, where they did not close up their economy. I think one has to be responsible, to yourself. So, like, for example, even the open economy, take your own precautions. You know that this virus is a very fierce germ, very fierce. It infects people so easily. And then don't forget, if you get infected, it's not only you. What if you bring it back and infect your family?
True.
Yeah. But on the other hand, they should open the economy or parts of it. As I said, this multiplier effect. You need some economic activity. So where is the balance? I think the balance, one should not depend totally on the government and on the authorities, but on yourself. Be responsible. Yeah. But still go out and spend money a little bit.
So what you're saying is to go out and spend money, but take care of yourself.
Yes.
If you want everybody, the economy to recover.
Yes.
So do it balanced. No. So you heard the man saying, go out and spend money, please. Do not keep your money at home, right? So the Chinese merchant always have one thing to say within our group. They will say, now you have money also, you don't know where to spend. But now the boss has told you, guys, please go out and spend money, all right? So That's the question. Go out and spend money and revive the economy, but be careful and take care of yourself. Right. Now, as an investor, what can I do now as an investor to take advantage of the market now?
I think the market's a very interesting place. But as I said, it is very, very volatile. So I think one should not go with the crowd and chase the stocks and all that, because especially when they're running, because when they go up and after that it comes crashing down again, should avoid gambling. But more important, I think you should play the market or buy or invest shares with money that you have. Do not borrow to play the market. I think that is the best advice I can give at this moment. And at the same time, watch the market, look at the counters, study the counters. Stocks that have come down so cheap, I think they're worth buying, and eventually they will go up.
So you're saying use your own money to buy into the stocks. So which one?
That is $1 million question.
Give us a few counters that we should.
Yeah. But I think at
what
the moment,
industry? Can you tell us which industry we should?
Yeah, because we have to look at the industry. The industry is changing, and we do not know how it will be. Like see all the glove counters that manufacturers have really gone crazy. The pharmaceutical companies have gone crazy. Because even though the economy will be very badly hit, there are sectors that will benefit from this.
Mm-hmm.
There are sectors that will be good. And I think it's just identifying those things.
Right. So which sector do you think that we should have
Well,
a
as I
look
said,
at?
pharmaceuticals, people who manufacture stuff that has a big demand that will help to combat the virus, things like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So invest with your own money, do not borrow, and invest in counters that will actually take advantage of this situation right now. Okay, so that's the advice from the boss, right? So I guess taking that notes down, right? Now, what steps should we take now as a normal person with a bit of a savings? What steps should we take now to weather the storm that is coming? How bad do you think the storm, the financial crisis that is coming following the pandemic, how bad do you think it will be? And what can we do now to weather it in 6 months or a year's time?
As I said, try and reduce your gearing as best you can. Of course, you have to adjust your lifestyle, because you know that your cash flow will be impacted for sure. It's already being done. The unemployment rate has gone up a lot. So one has to take stock of what one has, like not living beyond the means, which is the normal thing, and know that this will not go away tomorrow or next month. It will take a long time, and must act and plan accordingly.
So we must plan accordingly and must act accordingly. Now, about mindset, this is something that we must talk about.
Yeah, okay.
What is the right mindset to handle these circumstances and the future? It can be quite depressing right now. So what is the right mindset?
I think maybe I share something about the 97 and my own personal experience.
Yes, please, Bob.
Yeah, of course, when the thing hit, it took us took 10 years to build, was destroyed in 3 months. So you cannot believe it. You cannot believe it that, wow, how can it be so bad? No such thing, And then suddenly it's there. And the problems mount, the debts mount. As I said, the big problem of the 97 was because of overgearing. And then all these debts are still there. The assets are not there, but all the debts are there. Then what happens to yourself? You start getting sick, you get ulcers, you will get depressed, you will get, like stupid already, You don't know what to do. You don't want to wake up in the morning. But I remember at that time, when I wake up in the morning, I would hear the birds sing in the garden. Every morning, there are birds and they're singing. Then suddenly it occurred to me, maybe it is the mindset that we must adopt. We must have a mindset whereby we believe that God, whichever God you worship, whichever God you believe in, or the greater power, the creator, He's in charge of things. And He will make things right eventually. And once you have this mindset that things will be okay ultimately. Then you don't worry about yourself. You don't worry about your own immediate problems. But you use your God-given talent, your own education, your skills, your contacts, your abilities, and you go there and you work. You try. You keep on trying. You don't give up. You keep on trying. You work. With the understanding that it will be fine. And it actually, slowly by slowly, things improve. Things get better. Problems get solved. But it comes ultimately from you. Your own work. Your own doing. And that, I think that is the right mindset. To believe that things will be all right, not to let despair and frustration bring you down, lead you into depression, but that it will be fine. And then go out and work. Essentially, that's it. And I think it's the same as the coming crisis. A lot of people are wringing their heads, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got no job, I got no, my portfolio is gone to the dogs and all that. Yeah, perhaps, but it will be fine eventually. Go out and work.
How much has faith, your faith, you're a Christian, how much has faith helped you to overcome crisis after crisis that came your way?
Yes, I think it is this belief. It is this belief that you will be taken care of, it will be all right, it will be fine, things will be okay in the future, at some point in the future. And I think, yes, it plays a big role.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, we all have God-given talent and ability in different things, perhaps, but we all do. So we just try and make use of the
Have
best.
faith in the future.
Yes, exactly.
So, to whoever that is out there who knew Bob very well, all of us will know one guy who is actually he will be, what do you call this? He will be Iron Man, and the other guy is the Spider-Man to him. We just want to talk about this person. Tell us about this guy, Bob. Just hold on. Is it showing? It's not showing. Sorry. It's not showing.
But anyway,
let me just fix this. Yeah, we can fix this. Don't worry. That is just fixed keynote. I'm so sorry. This is live, so
I'm seeing the picture here, but I think it's not transmitting.
True.
Yeah.
Let us just do that secondary, tertiary screen.
Yeah, it is actually someone that we have known and played a big part in our lives. He has brought on a lot of fun, a lot of things that we have shared is because of him. In fact, I got to know Renan also because of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, this is not turning up too well. We're supposed to show the picture of Victor Tay.
Yes.
So tell us about Victor. We know each other for so long. We know Victor. We know you through Victor. Tell us, how did Victor, what kind of impact did Victor put into your life?
Victor worked with me actually for more than 10 years. Yeah. And he was my right-hand man. And he did so many things with us and for us, We rode the market together. We went through the crisis together. And he was always there.
I think I got it here.
Yes, this is the man.
The guy.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
So tell us, and Victor is a dear friend of us. Ours,
And he is a man of God. He was very active in the Salvation Army. And I think a lot of what he did reflected his faith. And he's very capable, and he's always helping others. That was the thing about him. Always ready to lend a helping hand. Sadly, he had an accident where he fell, and we lost him 8 years ago. Yeah, but we remember him, and he's always close to our hearts.
Yeah. So, May 15, that was the day we lost him.
8 years
8 years ago.
Yes.
And until today, I think we are still remembering this guy. So, to all the friends out there who is watching this, Victor Tay, in remembrance of Victor Tay, right? So, comes back to this. Tell us a little bit more on your your pilgrimage trips. You know, you've been bringing people every year, twice, 3 times, 4 times a year to the Holy Land. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, I bring people on pilgrimage trips. I've been doing it for 20 years. Yes, we go to the Holy Land, Israel, Jordan, Egypt. We go to Rome, mainly Catholic pilgrimages. We go to Spain, we go to France, and all that. You know, I find a satisfaction in bringing people there, mainly old people, I must say, but bringing people there to rediscover their faith, perhaps, or to experience new things about what they have been taken for granted all these years. Yeah, we bring, yes, I have been to the Holy Land many times, but amazingly, each time I go, I learn new things about the Bible, I learn new things about the faith, I learn new things about the story of Jesus.
Oh. Even after 25 times going there?
Not 25 times. I've been, I think, 13 times.
And I promised to go with you for the last 10 years, right?
I'm still waiting.
Now, can you tell us what kind of age maximum can a person bring? Can I bring my 80-year-old mother?
Yes, I have actually brought some people who are very senior to the trip. They would otherwise be afraid to go. Because you see, a pilgrimage trip is different from a holiday trip where every man is like for himself. Here, we are traveling with a common goal, a common objective, and we always help each other. So no problem. You know, we will wait for you. We will not chase you if you are slow. We will help you along, and support each other. This is very true in all pilgrimage trips.
So, if anybody wants to go on a pilgrimage trip with you, Bob, which I do, I think I want to do it with my mom. You know, my mom is 80. I think I want to bring her, you know, within these 2 years. How could we contact? Where should we send them to? No, they're going to PM us at this channel. Where can we send them to you? Do you have a website or something we can actually send them to?
No, just contact me. We do, but it's not. It's called Faith with Friends. It's on Facebook, but not so well updated.
All right. So if you want to go to a pilgrimage trip to the Holy Land, I mean the Holy Land, you know lah, the Holy Land. If you want to go to a pilgrimage trip with the Holy Land with Bob, you can actually PM us at this page, at Lim Ren En Live page. We will direct you to Bob.
Thank you.
Right? We will direct you
Sure.
to Bob.
Yeah.
Just leave a message, leave a comment on the live message, and or PM me. I will direct you to Bob. Okay? So then you can arrange the trip with him. Now let us answer some questions from the audience. Oh, there's so many of them. So let's have a look at a few. So which one you want to start first, Bob?
Okay, let's
There's
go.
a lot. Okay. Right. So there's a few here. I've seen one just now. Just
Okay.
let me scroll down. Yep. There's one from. So I saw one just not quite long. Glove company, although so high. This one.
Yeah, the glove companies are very, very high at the moment. But then, of course, it is because the people are going with the flow. And then this is like momentum play. That's why the...
Yeah. They're saying the glove company is so
has
high.
gone up.
The question
They had a
is,
very big run.
they have a very big line. Let me just
Last week.
show. Let me show the question a bit more prominently here. Yeah. So what other counters can we go in? The glove company is so high, Bob.
I
This
know.
is about asking about
I think
crystal ball. The crystal ball.
Crystal ball. It's
You have to
crystal
show
ball.
the crystal
I
ball.
know. I think I have no specific counters to recommend per se, because I think it is better to look at more fundamental counters that has pulled back a lot. That kind of counters more rather than a specific counters.
Who is actually coming up with the next vaccine?
China, and they're going to give it for free.
China is going to give it for free, so don't have to buy anything. Right?
Yeah.
So the next question. Hi, Uncle Bob. What do you think of the main reason of using leverage?
Not using leverage.
Let me show this to everybody so you can have a... It's very long. Ooh, very long. But let us show it here. So sorry, I just have to go...
So the idea of using leverage, of course, is because it's like this. Say I have $1,000, so I can buy $1,000 worth of stock. It goes up 10%, I make $100. All right. But if with $1,000, I can borrow another 1,000. So what can I do? I can buy $2,000 worth of stock. If it goes up 10%, I make 200 instead of 100, right? So then, of course, people leverage. And in a rising market, it's good because then when the price goes up, after I buy and everybody else buys, I can even use the stocks that I buy to borrow more. For example, I came up with a 1,000. I bought $2,000 worth of stock. The value of the stock is now 3,000. The bank will lend me another $500 to buy, 50% say. So I buy another 500 worth of stock. So now my portfolio is 3,500. It goes up more, percentage-wise, I make more. That is the lure of gearing.
Of leveraging.
Yeah, leveraging and gearing, same thing. So this works in a rising market.
Bull market.
In a bull market, yeah. Unfortunately, when the market turns, you may not be able to run fast enough to unwind the position and pay off the debt. This is the problem.
That's the danger.
So it's a two-edged sword with leverage. Yeah. So like now, the market is in very, very dangerous territory. That is why in a bear market, one should not gear at all. In fact, you must try and have zero gearing. Cash is king. Keep the cash. There will be very many deals, good deals coming, property deals. If you have very big business deals, you can buy businesses for a song. People give it to you. Shares, all being. So this is keep the cash. I think that at the moment is the best advice. And look for deals.
Now, can I just ask one question out of this context? What is happening to the stock market? We see that the man on the ground is suffering. People is without job. They are doing odd jobs and all that to survive. But the stock market doesn't reflect that. What is happening to the stock market?
Yeah, because stock market actually are for rich people. There are a lot of people who have the cash, and of course they will play the market. Because what else can you do with the money? To buy property, it takes a long time to turn around. To buy a business, only if you want to run it. So then the people with the extra cash, after they have spent and go on pilgrimage with me, they come back, eventually they will play the market. Because the market, you can go in and out very easily. That's got the liquidity. That is the key. You can buy, you can sell, instant liquidity.
Okay, that's why people is going to the stock market.
Yep.
Right. Now, there are some questions that we can actually, Esther was saying, rest in peace, Victor. He's, of course, a good man. Now, there's one guy who actually asked you, can you talk about this? Talk about the Camino, Bob.
Camino, yeah. Last year, Bob, we did a trip whereby we walked what we call the El Camino. It's in northern Spain, and it is a walking pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela in northwest Spain. Yeah, so there was a gang of us, 13 of us, and we walked 130 kilometers in 6 days. It was a very long walk. But guys, you were champions, all of you. Janet and gang.
Right, the last question that we should do. Seheng asks you, Bob, you're inspiration to many people. So what are the three things, let's just put it here, huh? So what are the three things you will tell the younger you?
Oh. I would say, that you must think of yourself at times, but you must think of the family. You must say to yourself, if you're interested and you want to do something, go and do it. Go and learn it, I must say that I will tell you, I learned to play music when I was 55 years old. Yeah. And I was fortunate enough to find a bunch of guys that we decided to play music together. And we've been playing music, semi-professionally or professionally for 10 years now. So same as when you're young, do not put off for tomorrow. If you like something, you're interested in something, go ahead, learn it, do it. I think that helps. Again, it's the mindset and having the positive attitude will hold you in good stead in life.
Do it when you're younger.
And do it when you're younger, yes.
So one last thing you want to tell our audience before we go off, Bob? One last thing.
One last thing. I think life is meant for living, and in life one has to have a balance between work, family, self-improvement, also maybe the spiritual element, for your own well-being. I think that is important in life, a balance. One needs to have a balance, yes, in all that we do. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you so much for coming up, Bob. So let me do a little bit of a preview of what is coming next week. So this is coming next week. So next week we will have a doctor to talk everything about your anus. It is in Mandarin. It says the secret of your anus, things that you want to ask but you never dare to ask. So if you understand Mandarin, you can come up to our show next week by Dr. Fu Xianling, a specialist in gastroenterologist, and he will talk everything about the anus. That would be an interesting thing, right? Next week. Okay? So, thank you, Bob. Thank you so much for coming. And let us come.
Yes, before we go, we need to do this. To have balance in life and to have a younger thing in life. Come on, Renan. Yes.
Right. So to all of the guests out there, thank you for watching. And it has been amazing to have you, Bob, here with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're a lovely brother, and I have so much respect for this man.
You're too kind.
Right. Until next week, we'll see you again. Thank you for coming to the Lim Ren En Live Show. We will see you again next week.